The wrestling news, the WWE news, the $5 billion experiment is in shambles. We are getting reports of a massive legal contract breach in WWE. According to the rumors, the speculation, the gossip, what is the fate of WWE Raw on the road to WrestleMania? What about Smackdown? What about the USA Network? What about WrestleMania? What about the final mission for Ronda Rousey? We're going to get into all that and much more as we're going to floor you with the hottest, the latest, the greatest, the newest, the most in-depth, the most insightful WWE rumors, gossip, speculation, and hearsay, because nobody brings the kind of energy, heart, passion, and hustle. Nobody gives you that kind of unapologetic factor like the brash and the brazen right here on this very channel. Remember to hype, like, comment, become a channel member. If you want to help save this channel, remember to donate below with a super thanks donation by using your credit card. Again, ladies and gentlemen, will the WWE and Triple H be forced to not only have Raw jump back to the USA Network, but will they be begging the USA Network to take Monday Night Raw back? Plus viewers, fans, and subscribers, the streaming dream has turned into an apocalyptic nightmare. Stay tuned, because we're breaking down the locker room mutiny and the end of the Netflix era, potentially. And I know you're going to say, Sean, they signed a deal, they're locked in, they can't get out of it, they can't do this, they can't do that. Well, we're going to get into the crucial developments. We're going to get into the huge details that you're not going to soon want to miss right here on Sean's View Entertainment. Welcome back. Hit subscribe. Let's look at the facts of this Netflix Monday Night Raw deal that we're way in over a year already, if you can believe that. But what is this Raw deal come with Netflix that, well, this is what we didn't get on USA Network when Raw was on USA Network? Technical glitches, constant buffering, and the Jake Paul fight disaster. We all remember that one, right? Or not only glitches and constant buffering, but the screen goes completely black. It goes dark. Or sometimes you can't even hear the commentary. I mean, it's just absolutely demanding to us that we are demanded to pay more money for a lesser product, for all the glitches and all the bufferings and all the black screens. Reports and rumors are escalating and leaking that TKO could be calling this a breach of contract. They would want Raw back on cable TV where it is safe. Rumors are flying that Triple H could be in a high-level talk with USA Network for an emergency return or a simulcast where Raw is on Netflix and USA Network, so that way it can satisfy, the people that still have cable, and it will satisfy the people that have moved on to Netflix. So simulcast, simultaneously, Raw on USA and Netflix. I think that would be the right route to go, but is that exactly what the WWE is ultimately going to do? Well, let's breathe into this one. Imagine the shock, ladies and gentlemen. Remember this. Imagine the shock if Raw leaves Netflix after only 1 year. Is the future of broadcasting already dead in the water? Your thoughts, your comments, your opinions. And it's not just the glitches. It's not just the aggravation, but it's also the money issue. It's also that as a WWE fan, remember when we only had to pay for the for cable, and we got USA Network and all of that. But remember when it was so simple? We had the WWE Network, we could watch all the pay-per-views for $9.99, and then you had to pay for cable television for Raw and Smackdown on the USA Network. Now, fast forward to 2026, and now you got ESPN, you got Netflix, you got cable TV if you're already paying for that. You got Hulu. You got all these, you got Amazon. I mean, that's not even counting all the other apps that HBO to watch AEW. I mean, to be a WWE fan in 2026, it is very expensive, and that is not even counting, viewers. That is not even counting how expensive the tickets are now to attend, to go to a WWE event. Absolutely unbelievable, viewers. Like they called it, it is an absolute nightmare right now, and how is this going to be figured in? How is this going to be addressed? How is this going to be fixed for the WWE? Well, let's talk about something else while we're at it. Let's talk about the beast, because you want proof, you want evidence, you want the facts, you want the proof in the pudding. Well, that is what I'm here for, to give you the best, the brash, the brazen. PW Insider just dropped a massive nuke, huge breaking news for March the 11th, 2026. Sources inside WWE expect Obafemi to be the one to go against Brock Lesnar in the WrestleMania Open Challenge. Lesnar is scheduled for the March 16th, the 316 WWE Raw in San Antonio. Is the ruler about to take the beast to the limit? This is the super fight we didn't know that we needed, but backstage heat is rising over who actually goes over in Vegas. Does Brock even want to put the kid over? Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions. But let's dig a little bit deeper, viewers, fans, and subscribers, because remember, Stone Cold Steve Austin on 316 Day, Austin 316. 316 will be this Monday night on Netflix. Stone Cold is expected. Stone Cold is anticipated to return. So, you know, we may see a couple of beer smashers, may see a couple of stunners, and we may see a couple of hell yeahs in the process. Now, let's dig deeper. If the Netflix deal is breaching Raw and it is moving nights, what happens to the WrestleMania 42 card? Because, again, this is breaking news on WrestleMania right here. Again, guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe if you want more rumors, news, gossip, and speculation and hearsay. We are hearing that the production schedule is an absolute annihilation. If they lose the Netflix global reach, the sponsorship money from DraftKings and Prime could be slashed in half. Because you know how WWE puts the sponsors on the ring. They put it on the mat, which Vince McMahon was against, which the WWE would have never done. The WWE would have never been putting sponsors on the ring, on the mat, because it just takes away and it just looks crowded. It looks cluttered. But rumors are circulating that several major celebrity matches, possibly even a Logan Paul or Tom Brady appearance, are being moved because the streaming exposure isn't what was promised. Triple H could be literally rewriting the biggest show in Vegas as we speak, according to hearsay online, according to whispers, according to those in the know. But as we know here on the show, that's not all, because we dig deeper, we go more extensive, we go more exclusive here on the Unapologetic. Where if it weren't for you, there would be no SeanzView. We prove it day in and day out. Now, don't go anywhere, viewers. Don't go anywhere, because I got more breaking news. Bodyslam.net has just revealed the Tiffy time plan for Tiffany Stratton, the former WWE Women's Champion who lost it to Jade Cargill. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been penciled in since February. We are looking at Julia versus Tiffany Stratton for the first ever Women's United States title defense at WrestleMania 42. Now, this WrestleMania 42 card could feature the most women's matches in the history of the WWE's WrestleMania extravaganza. Now, Tiffy is obviously the priority, but here's the gossip. Is Jordynne Grace's injury going to force a triple threat? The beautiful madness is about to meet Tiffy time, and it's going to be absolutely nuclear, ladies and gentlemen. And, ladies and gentlemen, we got to dive into this one. Former WWE star, UFC competitor, MMA turned the baddest woman on the planet, Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Has she gone rogue? Yesterday at the Intuit Dome, Ronda Rousey started and stared face-to-face. The baddest woman on the planet, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, stood face-to-face with Gina and admitted that this May 16th Netflix fight likely could be her last in the octagon. Now, she trashed the UFC and called out fighter pay and basically spit on the TKO corporate. She also says, "I'll be your Dana." Is Ronda done and gone with the business for good following this? She's burning every bridge on her way out. That's what it would seem. It is a total bloodbath. So, ladies and gentlemen, is Netflix a failure for Raw? Should Raw return to USA Network? Is Obafemi ready for the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar? And is Ronda Rousey, viewers, right about the UFC? Because remember, this fight isn't going to be contested in UFC. It is going to be under the MMA umbrella. It is going to be under the MMA underground. It is going to be on Netflix. And as we all know, Ronda Rousey's highly competitive, and we all know one of those fights put her into a deep, deep, dark depression. But we also know Ronda Rousey to be one of the most dominating performers, one of the most dominating women's performers in the history of Ultimate Fighting Championship. And it doesn't get much more real than that, viewers, fans, and subscribers, as we are always here to satisfy your taste buds as concerns all things professional wrestling. But ladies and gentlemen, that is not all, because we've got breaking news on Jon Moxley, the former AEW World Champion, the former WWE Champion. once known as Dean Ambrose in WWE. The former AEW World Champion Jon Moxley, who is now currently still in AEW, but many are hoping and wishing for a return to the WWE for Jon Moxley, recently said that he would actually wrestle every night if he could. He explained the importance of staying active in wrestling and his desire to help others gain the experience. Your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, and your emotions on all of that. Also, Charlotte Flair reveals her vision for life after WWE. I want to help people. Also, Rey Fenix on a possible Lucha Bros reunion in WWE. Is that something you would want to see? Also, backstage news on poorly received, and this was poorly received, and I want to get your thoughts, your comments, your opinions. A poorly received Ricky Saints segment that recently aired on WWE TV. Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions. Also, Nikki and Brie, the Bella Twins, confirm their WrestleMania status amid their absence from the WWE. Also, a massive steel cage match and more has been announced for next week's WWE NXT. Also, ladies and gentlemen, with William Regal and Finlay appearance leading to a heel turn on NXT, can we expect to see more of William Regal and Finlay on WWE television? It obviously would not take away from the WWE if they did something quite like this. Also, Chelsea Green addresses WrestleMania 42 status following her ankle injury. While it is not yet known if she will wrestle, she is fully anticipated to be at the Showcase of Immortals WrestleMania. Also, remember the days of Piper's Pit and the Snake Pit and the Heartbreak Hotel. Remember the shows Carlitos Cabana. Well, is the WWE interested in reinventing that wheel with Stone Cold Steve Austin's own talk show segment on WWE TV? Again, like the historic Piper's Pits of the day. And that used to really kickstart or start a feud or further an angle or a storyline. Do you want to see that back on WWE TV in 2026? But who would be the guest? Obviously and sadly, we no longer have Roddy Piper, which is a very sad state of affairs. We've had multiple wrestlers that had multiple personalities that were able to get over their own talk show segment on WWE TV. What do you think is the best or the greatest talk show segment in the history of WWE? Your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, and your emotions on that. Also, this just coming in right now, late breaking news. This is why we do multiple videos a day, guys. Multiple videos a day. The WWE has reportedly locked in multiple new international signings. Also, the WWE is being called out over lack of wrestlers union despite a $9 billion sale. Your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, and your emotions on all of that. Also, Maxine Dupree admits fear of stalkers at WWE meet and greets. Also, fans are dragging Will Ospreay for working with wrestlers accused of grooming we're not even going to say that next word. Danhausen's current WWE brand assignment status revealed for those of you that are in, that follow Danhausen. He has already appeared across multiple WWE shows since his debut, but internally, he reportedly doesn't belong to any brand. Because according to a new report by PW Insider that was just released this morning today, Danhausen has yet to be assigned to either Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. Instead, he is currently listed with WWE as a free agent. The Chicago crowd, it was a thunderous applause. It was great. I came out and it was like, yes, finally, Danhausen has arrived. I could hear each and every one of them jumping up off their seats, giving me applause and saying, up yours, Dracula. Danhausen did it first. So the real question now is simple. Should WWE lock Danhausen into Raw or SmackDown or keep him roaming the shows as a free agent? It all boils down to your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, and your emotions. Also, viewers, fans, and subscribers, AJ Lee's current title reign as the Women's Intercontinental Champion. Although she said she's going to be a fighting champion, she's going to be a gallant champion. She's going to put on that belt. She's going to put it on the line. She's going to wrestle. It would appear as if AJ Lee's run with the WWE Women's Intercontinental title will be that of a transitional champion. And that just goes to show you that there are no long-term plans for AJ Lee to wrestle consistently on WWE, and I think we all know why that is. Due to her, obviously, we're very honored, we're very lucky that we even have AJ Lee on the screen wrestling when she does. We all know that she's even less than a part-timer, but due to her injuries and her history of injuries, we're lucky that she's even wrestling that she is right now. We're lucky. So, appreciate AJ Lee as she is, because it's not going to last, unfortunately. But again, AJ Lee needs to look out for her health and her well-being. And again, it's nothing short of crazy, literally crazy, that she's even wrestling when we thought she would never, ever wrestle again. But AJ Lee always comes out and shocks all of us, just like her shocking return to the blue brand of SmackDown. Plenty more to come. Subscribe.